right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Erin Holmes, and I'm the former Drinking Water and Groundwater Trust Fund Administrator with the Department of Environmental Services. Having worked on this project since I first started that position in 2018, I'm extremely excited to be here today and celebrating with all of you. 51,700 linear feet of new water transmission main. Upgrades to 9 existing well water treatment stations, 2 new water storage tanks totaling 1.4 million gallons of water storage, new booster pump stations, new pressure relief valve stations, and lots of upgrades to other existing stations. This is the new infrastructure and some of the upgraded infrastructure that helped deliver 1 million gallons of water per day from Manchester Waterworks through the town of Derry and delivering it to Windham, Salem, Hampstead and Atkinson through the Hampstead Area Water Treatment Company, Hampstead Area Water Company, who provides water service in Hampstead and Atkinson, and then the town of Plaistow. Today we are celebrating what happens when designs become construction contracts and when water service starts in Salem and Atkinson and Hampstead in 2020. It starts in Windham early in 2022 and initiates the first municipal water system in Plaistow, which is happening right now. Today we are celebrating the commitment, partnership, and dedication to the Southern New Hampshire Regional Water Project demonstrated by the project partners and the continued support of Governor Chris Sununu, Senator Chuck Morse. Thank you both for your support. You will hear from several speakers today, and we'll start with Governor Sununu and Senator Morse. Following our speakers, we will present the project partners, including our consultant and contractor partners, with a plaque recognizing their commitment that led to the success of the project. And that will all be followed by a group photo. So it is now my honor to invite Governor Sununu as our first speaker.
Thank you, Erin. Great. All right. This is awesome. I'll be really quick because there's a lot of folks to thank here. This is really, really awesome. I don't want to tell the same story over and over, but I think it's a really good story. I became governor and sworn in January of 2017, and within a month, I'm presenting a budget. And it was at that budget, one of the first really major speeches I had ever given to the state when I was standing in front of the House of Representatives. And I turned to Chuck, Senate President Morse at the time, and I basically, through that budget process, tapped him to say, look, we have hundreds of millions of dollars in this trust fund. We are going to put it to work, and we're going to put it exactly where it needs to go. And Chuck said, wow, that's a big project, but he took it on. And he's taken it on for the past 6 years, nonstop. And so we get to stand here, and we've done a couple of these around, but this is really one of the bigger ones. We get to stand here and talk about the actual infrastructure, not an idea, where will we get the money, how will it get planned and designed. We did it. It's here. The first phase is complete, and we're not stopping. We're going on to second and third phase. And I'm very passionate, as a lot of folks know, about clean drinking water. I was an environmental engineer. I literally put thousands of holes in the ground. And I put thousands of wells in, and I've tested tens of thousands of wells for everything under the sun in terms of clean drinking water. And I've always said, there is no greater faith in government. I know it's hard to have any faith in government sometimes, but there is really no greater faith in government when you turn on your faucet and you fill it with water and you hand it to your kid. You are really, really trusting that the government got it right? Because you can't see it sometimes, you can't smell it, you don't know how clean it really is. And so it is really incumbent upon us to say, what can we do to enhance the infrastructure, to put the lines in, to make sure we're getting clean drinking water, not just in our local communities, but the fact that we're now bringing in water into communities like this for really directly and indirectly hundreds of thousands of people in the southeast part of the state from Manchester, right? And we brought these mains down, working with DOT. It's really unbelievable. So I'm very excited because this was my passion for so long. It still very much is. We have great partners at the state level. So a couple of people I want. First, she never gets enough credit. And never gets any credit sometimes. But what Erin has done leading this effort in all of these meetings, all of the public hearings, all of the, well, how will this go, and making sure things stay on time, really making sure the trains, we can have all the ideas in the world, but if you don't have individuals that make the trains run on time, Erin, I cannot thank you enough. You've been absolutely awesome. Really, really awesome. And again, we can all have ideas, we can all find ways to money, but to actually implement this stuff is so critical. It's kind of the customer service aspect. We're not just talking about stuff; we're delivering it. And bringing in a new team early on was really important. Aaron was a big part of that. Our commissioner Bob, you've done again, Commissioner Scott. Any hour of the day, you call this guy, he's going to pick up the phone. He's been on the front lines with Chuck every step of the way, and it's just really been awesome. And not just looking at, well, what's directly in front of us, but even a month ago, he was in my office saying, okay, well, here's 5 more ideas we have on clean drinking water infrastructure and where we could go and how you get the match funds. And every town is a little different, and local control is important. And some people want to be on wells, and some people want to have their own well, and some people want to be tied into the line. And making sure we listen to each and every one of those towns and we work with them. How do the applications work? What's going to be best for your town? What's best in Plaistow might not be best in Kingston or in Londonderry or over on the seacoast. So you got to be able to work with each of these individual towns. And that's the best part of customer service. It'd be real easy for government just to stay up here and we're going to throw more money at something. We'll let you know how it turns out. But to have a team that really focuses on individuals and creates the opportunities, we're going to wrap our solutions around those individuals as opposed to asking people just to fit into our system. That's a fundamental difference, and it's something that Chuck Morse did a phenomenal job with. The commissioner, the entire department really took on heads on. Cannot thank them enough. So I just want to say thank you. And again, first phase done, let's keep going. And we're going to keep going. Phase 2 is already on its way. We have ideas for phase 3. We have ideas for the seacoast. We're talking about the cities and towns, not just in the southern tier, but all the way up Whitefield, other communities all over the northern part of the state, the western part of the state, the rural areas that frankly sometimes get forgotten. But they're such an integral part of our system as a whole. They have clean drinking water issues as much as anybody else, supply chain issues as much as anyone else. So just want to thank everybody for making sure that each of these individual towns and each of these individual projects gets treated as such. It really makes a difference, and it's how New Hampshire truly stands out from the rest of the crowd. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Governor. Please welcome Senator Chuck Morse.
You know, I don't think Aaron and I would have hugged during this whole project because we're both the same type of people and we work so damn hard. It's all about what do we got to do next. And she said to me about a week ago, do I get to hug you at the end of this? And so earlier when I got here, that happened, but the governor hit the nail on the head. The department under Aaron's leadership and the commissioner's leadership, we can't thank them enough, folks, because without them, this would not have got done. I mean, they took my call every single day during this project. So Aaron, Commissioner Scott, your whole team, thank you very much for what you've done for the state of New Hampshire. Everybody keeps saying lately that I'm so quiet. If quiet got this project done, this has been 5 years of quiet, but it was because of you. I believe in the fact that everybody cares about their neighbors in New Hampshire. And, whether it was Manchester Waterworks, where we went and met with the team from the beginning, and they were so supportive of this. Then we stepped down into Derry and worked with them to make sure we could pipe the water right down 28. We worked with the town of Wyndham and Pennachuck Water System. Then we got into Salem. They've been unbelievable working with us to make sure that we could get into Hawks System for Hampstead and Atkinson. And the end goal was this, right here. This was the end goal. We could not get water to a community that was suffering from contamination with no way to drill wells to get them cleaner water in this community. This is huge for Plaistow, New Hampshire. And trust me, we tried before this to go into Massachusetts and tap the Merrimack, and they didn't want to talk to us. We did this because of Manchester, New Hampshire. It's made a huge difference for our state to get this project to where it is. And I really do think it's because all of you in this room, I was shocked to walk in the room today and see 2 attorneys here that nobody would know. They were behind the scenes on the whole project, working with you to make this whole thing legitimate as we went through the project. These people didn't give up. When they were challenged with the law that, says you can't do this or you can't do that, they got it done. They really did. They made sure that we worked together to turn on the spigot. That's what it's all about. I think the future is so bright for New Hampshire in getting water projects done. We've done projects throughout the state, this being the biggest one. But all those other projects make a difference. Those 5 projects that the governor was talking about, those are real. Those are 5 projects. Some of them in communities that have no choice but to put public water in because of contamination. And they'll finally realize it. Just like in Plaistow. The hookups in Plaistow will double and triple in a year when people realize they can't find more water and they can't find more clean water. They'll really understand what has happened today. Bringing 1 million gallons down here today, let's get the other 3 million gallons done, because it'll benefit this whole southern tier by getting that done. That's phase 2. I definitely need your support to do that. Aaron and I might be moving up, but the reality of the whole thing is there's nothing we care more about than this commission that worked so hard. I thank them all. Thank everyone that came here today for doing that, and for the department. Listen, don't ever tell me DES doesn't listen to you, because they listened this whole time and they got it done, and they certainly know every inch of this state when it comes to water, and they continue to fight to get projects done. I want to thank you all for everything you've done, and what a great success story. We should all be cheering for this one.
Thank you, Senator. Please welcome the Commissioner of the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services and my boss, Bob Scott.
Well, thank you very much. I do want to say, obviously, I'm going to repeat a little bit. You know, we're in our 3rd year of drought. We have water contamination concerns throughout the state. The foresight of a regional project like this cannot be underestimated, and I want to thank everybody involved for having that insight. And again, the governor, his steadfast support. You can hear the enthusiasm in his speech, and we really appreciate that. That's what's needed. Senator Morris, the whole Trust Fund Commission, Advisory Commission. This is work that could not have happened without that teamwork. I do want to just go back in time a little bit, and I'm reminded that this doesn't happen overnight. So, as an example. Where's Representative Major? He's here someplace. I know he is. So I want to really give a shout out to him. He reminds me that his vision for water in Plaistow started in 1969, right? So this is not a overnight, let's just do this tomorrow thing. This took a lot of planning and foresight. Bob Varney was, he reminded me that back when he was commissioner, they were looking at regionalization projects, and this was one of the type of things they were thinking of. And then, of course, Norman Doe helped beyond that. My point to here is it's just really important to understand that these things just don't happen overnight. They take a lot of planning, a lot of foresight. And with that, I also want to, this is really a victory for many reasons. So obviously we hear the state government was involved. The local governments were very involved. The private companies were very involved. This is really the epitome of the New Hampshire way, in my opinion. This is the doing what, as collectively in a public-private partnership that none of us could do individually. So this is really a testament to that, and this is truly the New Hampshire way, in my opinion. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't again thank all the staff that have worked currently on this project and throughout the inception of this, including way back when we were looking at regionalization. So again, I really want to thank everybody. I know Phil's going to talk about the Crowsdale with the importance of the Merrimack and providing a source for us. But again, thank you so much for everybody that's been involved. There's almost too many people to mention, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And now I'd like to welcome Director of Manchester Waterworks, Phil Crowsdale. Phil Crowsdale will be speaking on behalf of all of the project partners, and as Commissioner Scott said, they are the source of the water that we have here today.
Congratulations. Governor, Commissioner Scott, Senator Morse. when I was asked to speak on this a couple of days ago, I really tried to just put down a bunch of my thoughts, and Erin gave me a nice little
Just a
couple of little bullet points to talk about, and they're covered here, Erin. But I just want to start up by, today, we hear a lot of skepticism about government intrusions upon our lives. Not being able to deliver what's promised, or wasting a lot of money and costing more than if done by the private sector. I think this project demonstrates that with strong leadership and collegial commitment between state officials, local governments, municipal and private entities, in this case water systems, and consultants, working together we can serve the public in a very, very positive way. Thank you, Senator Morse, from day one back in 2016 when we first met in your office, for your vision and persistence. You've shown the value of transferring private sector experience into local and state government. You listened, understood the issue, the need of several communities, brought all the partners to the table, and steered the process throughout. And you should be very, very commended for that. From my perspective, enough cannot be said, and I'm just being repetitive of the three previous speakers, as to the contributions made by Erin Holmes and Mike Unger of the DES, both consummate professionals who have worked tirelessly since day one to coordinate, manage, and get everyone aboard. At times it was like a cattle drive to get us all together, a project involving over half a dozen communities, 4 municipal and 2 private water companies. I'm sure at times tested their psyche and patience. And I can say that firsthand because I think I was part of that. Could be difficult at times, but thank you for your commitment to this project in the state of New Hampshire, Erin and Mike. From our initial meeting with Senator Morse back in 2016, the Manchester Water Works, which we are the source of the water for this project, has been a willing partner to help solve water quality and quantity issues in the southern region. As far back as the 1940s, when MWW extended water into Goffstown, we'd helped our 6 outlying communities in areas of Hooksett, Goffstown, Bedford, Auburn, Londonderry, and Litchfield by providing municipal water and fire protection directly and through wholesale water agreements. In 1984, we agreed to sell water to the town of Derry when their supply was compromised, and we do so up through today. We also currently have an emergency agreement with Merrimack Village District should they need us in an emergency, in the case of an emergency supply. Upon signing the SIA agreement in April of 2019, it brought to my count 12 communities that will be supplied to some degree by Manchester and Lake Massabesic. And one of the questions I get asked often, Roy, just a couple minutes ago, how's the lake doing? It's down 33 inches, which is normal for this time of year. So the supply is there, and the lake's in excellent shape. With the completion of our 7 million gallon treatment plant on the Merrimack River scheduled for the middle of next year, and that's right on schedule, and thanks in large part to Methuen Construction, who is our contractor on the job, we look forward to ensuring an adequate supply of those already being served, but as we anticipate, many others who will sure to be in need due to inadequate supply or contamination. We're all aware of the scope we face down the road. Kudos to Derry's investment in managing and maintaining their distribution system, needing just limited upgrades to support the project, some booster pumps and main extensions, enabling the town to wheel water from Manchester into Windham. Director of Public Works Mike Fowler and Deputy Director Tom Carey are to be commended for their efforts and ongoing support of this project. We continue to work closely with Derry on issues arising and will always maintain a great working relationship to better serve their customers and ours. Also Windham, not only bringing water along the Route 28 corridor, but into Route 111, Exit 3, the commercial area that was also impacted by MTBE contamination. And thanks to the partnership with Pennachuck East Utility, who relinquished franchise area along the regional water main in Windham, acting in the best interest of the project and potential users of the regional water. This project has already reaped unforeseen benefits. With the connection, Pennachuck is now able to supply water to a small franchise area in Windham with an amendment to our wholesale water agreement. Without this project, that supply would never have been available to those residents. thanks to Don Ware and John Bovier of Pennachuck for your commitment throughout this project and continual commitment for the water industry. Salem, whose water supply suffered from MTBE contamination, has been receiving water from the project since the summer of 2020. And Roy has mentioned they're up to 800,000 gallons per day now, which is near phase 1, and we're ready to go phase 2. Roy Sorensen and everyone at Salem was and is dedicated to the project and managed the construction contracts in Wyndham and worked with the town of Wyndham to develop an agreement to serve Wyndham's residents. And thanks to Charlie Lanza from Salem, who coordinates the monthly partner meetings, keeping everyone up to date on current issues. Ironically, we were able to test the strength of that partnership just last year with our first distribution issues we've had throughout the system, and we worked seamlessly together to rectify the problems. Thanks to Salem's history of maintaining their quality core water system, additional upgrades beyond the interconnection of the system at the Wyndham-Salem and Salem-Atkinson borders were not necessary to wheel additional flow to Hampstead Area Water Company in the town of Plaistow. The Hampstead Area Water Company demonstrated their commitment to the project through their operational flexibility and willingness to evaluate and significantly modify their system to accommodate project water. Hawk, which serves residents in the towns of Atkinson and Hampstead, agreed to converting their methods of disinfection, enabling to utilize project water and distribute it to Plaistow. They also worked through an extensive evaluation of their system to optimize the use of their existing water supply wells, dedicating to use their project water and deactivating non-critical supply wells. This was all brought about by the hard work of owner Harold Morris and Bruce Lewis of Lewis Engineering. Kudos to them. As we all can imagine, this was a very complicated undertaking, simplified by so many hard-working, dedicated individuals. Those previously mentioned, as well as so many others from the state, various partnering towns, engineers, and other consultants whose combined effort of everyone made what seemed an insurmountable objective doable. PFAS and other contamination problems aren't going away soon and will surely need to be addressed in impacted communities throughout the state. I think this project has demonstrated that future challenges can be taken head-on and resolved if we continue to work together for the health, safety, and benefit of all who need assistance regardless of their address. I'm proud that Manchester Water Works was asked to partner in this project to bring water to our southern neighbors. I look forward to the future of this agreement and working together for the next 40 years throughout the contract and beyond in this partnership. I'm also proud to have worked alongside many of you for the past 4 years and so gotten to know all of you personally. I've come to appreciate your utmost professionalism and dedication to the water industry we serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil. And finally, our last speaker, in poor Plaistow, we always say they're last, but they're at the end of the line. But this is really what we're celebrating today, is having water here and available and all the work that got it here. So I'd like to invite up the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Jay DeRoche, and he's supported by the town manager, Greg Colby, and Representative Norm Major.
I want to thank Ian for this project for tonight. This is a project long time coming. I would like to especially thank my friend Senator Morse, whose support and successful guidance to create a multi-community agreement for supplying potable water to Plaistow have paved the legislative path to make today a reality. Who remembers what they were doing 50 years ago? Some of you were not even born. 53 years ago, the town of Plaistow had a dream of providing potable water to every home and every business, a dream that included providing fire suppression throughout our community. Well, this dream came alive in 1969 with a vision of the Board of Selectmen, which included Tom Cullen, Leroy Doobie, and myself. In 1969, Plaistow used both town and federal money to erect that water tower as our first project to provide fire protection for support process engineering. That year, the Board of Selectmen initiated our community's first action towards the development of a water system master plan that included a financially sustained town-wide fire suppression and potable water system. The selectmen contracted architect Clint Goodwin of Clint Goodwin Associates to research how our town could create such a system. Clint Goodwin recommended the looping of main arteries along Plaistow Road with 12-inch water pipes, the installation of water pipes and fire hydrants next to major water sources, including Little River, the reservoir, and Joanne Drive, since we didn't have any large body of water. He also recommended the construction of a water reservoir. And just as important, the construction of a water tank on the top of Sweet Hill as one of his highest priorities. In 1970, Plaistow installed a 12-inch water main from the water tower to its first hydrant on Main Street. This line provided a hydrant and water connection to Pennsylvania Box and Lumber Company. Since that time, Penn Box building has been torn down and the land was deeded to Plaistow. This is the land where the Plaistow Highway Department was constructed. At the same time, a 12-inch line was installed from the water tower under Little River along Joanne Drive, under Route 125 and East Road, Laurel Avenue Cross Street to Westville Homes. Westville Homes was a new industry manufacturing module homes. 5 hydrants were installed along the line. The hydrants located at Little River and Joanne Drive could be used to feed water into the pipeline as recommended by Mr. Goodwin. To financially support this project, Westville Homes donated the water pump and housing located at the base of the water tower that could pump 1,500 gallons per minute. By the end of 1972, Plaistow's fire suppression system included 4 major water sources, 100,000 gallons in the tower, 200,000 gallons in the ground reservoir at the tower, Little River crossing in the pond on Joanne Drive. Now with phase 1 complete, we continued our vision to provide the whole town with potable water and fire suppression system. In 1972, Plaistow Town Meeting appropriated $10,000 to have Fenton Keys conduct a water feasibility study. The town wanted to know if it could financially support the construction and maintenance of a municipal-owned and operated water supply, storage, and distribution facility. In 1973, the Board of Selectmen received the final feasibility report from Fenton Keys, which included the ability to determine the most feasible and economic water source, the water storage requirement to meet the demands of homes and businesses, the layout of the water system that would serve Plaistow's greatest needs. Fenton Keys highlighted that the most important part of enabling a municipal water system was the identification of a reliable water source. We ruled out surface water and catchment dams. Likewise, we ruled out the purchase of water from Haverhill because the political barriers and that they only wanted to supply enough water for residential needs, not for business. 1973, the town meeting appropriated $19,500 for 8 test wells at the locations recommended by the study. After reviewing the results of the 8 test wells, we did not receive the news we had hoped for. One of the 8 test sites could provide enough water, but it was located at the site of the town dump. Therefore, to support our vision, Plaistow had to come up with a plan to purchase water. In 1976, town meeting appropriated $52,000 for the purpose of extending the existing water line up Main Street to Seavey Brook, which was the site of the old fire station, Fire Pond. This extension provided our 5th source of water. In 1977, Plaistow received $352,000 federal grant from the Economic Development Administration that extended the water line and hydrants from the old firehouse to the Keyser manufacturing plant. Also extended a water line with hydrants from the railroad tracks to the northern end of Maple Avenue and into the reservoir area. The grant also paid for the installation of a 1 million-gallon lined reservoir with pumps and housing installed in the area between Witch Lane and Arbor Lane. The reservoir is supplied by pumping water from Little River, which became Plaistow's sixth source of water. In 1978, which was 44 years ago, Plaistow appropriated $5,800 for the purchase of a 1-acre parcel of land at the top of Sweet Hill to locate a water tank. At that time, we knew that we wanted to install a water tank there. We just didn't know that it would be 42 years later in 2020. Thank God. At the same town meeting, Plaistow appropriated $70,000 for the extension of the water main system with hydrants from the pump house at the reservoir on Nicholas Road to Arbor Lane, Kingston Road, Elm Street, completing the first water loop by connecting to the first hydrant on Main Street. Since 1978, additional water lines have been installed privately and publicly, accordingly with the town's water plan, so that it could eventually be connected to the town-wide potable water system. Fast forward to today, Plaistow now has more than 11 miles of water mains, more than 110 fire hydrants, and connection to 45 private sprinkler systems. To solve our long-term water supply needs, Plaistow signed a multi-community agreement for connecting to an adequate portable water source in Manchester, New Hampshire. This water source runs from Manchester through Windham, Salem, Hampstead, Atkinson, and into Plaistow. What I have just described is a proud piece of Plaistow's history. We as a town developed and initiated a vision that would have a major impact on our community, not then, but generations later. Townspeople showed their continuing faith in the plan through their continuing support of town meeting warrant articles that appropriated money so we could attract and maintain great businesses. Each of you and those who came before you have supported this vision, and we persevered to provide safe potable water and fire suppression system for Plaistow. Another big step is being taken today by having the ribbon cutting ceremony for the final connection into our town-wide water system. In the beginning, I spoke of Tom Cullen, who served with me on the Board of Selectmen when this all happened. Tom was a true believer in this dream. The town has accomplished a lot over the last 50 years towards providing a safe potable water system. I only wish Tom was here today to witness this ribbon cutting ceremony. As your state representative, I cannot thank enough the people that worked so hard over these 50 years to make this happen, especially our elected and appointed officials, our business community, state and federal agencies, and the citizens of Plaistow that have voted many times over the years to keep this dream alive. To each of you, I thank you for helping make this dream happen. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is truly an honor for our town. My name is Jay DeRoche. I'm the chair of the selectmen here in town. I'd like to welcome Governor Sununu, Senator Chuck Morse, Commissioner Bob Scott, Norman Major, our representative, Bob Harbour, who is our representative as well, and all of our partners, Manchester, Windham, Salem, Derry, Hampstead Area Waterworks, and Pennachuckies. So thank you very much for being here today. And this is truly a great day for our town. For Plaistow, the vision of town water has been 50 years in the making. And it started with the 3 selectmen, as Norm mentioned earlier. They had the foresight to purchase land to start this project. One of the selectmen, obviously Norm, is here today to realize that vision. So thank you, Norm, for all of your hard work and foresight and everything you've done over the years to bring this to fruition. So thank you. As you all know, we don't have a public water supply or a water supply in town that can give everyone in our residents, every one of our residents here, water. So who would have thought one day we'd get Manchester to bring us water all the way from 31 miles by my app on my phone that's the most direct route, but I'm sure it's more like hundreds of miles of pipe that are in the ground before it gets here. So it's really a monumental task and undertaking that this project was, and we're truly grateful to have it here. Through the countless help of others, there's so many people, I can't name everybody, and I'm sorry, but I'll try to encompass you all in our thanks. Through the hard work and dedication, determination of our partners for this project, Plaistow is realizing the dream of having water. Having municipal water system provide clean, potable water for our residents. For Plaistow to gain access to such a critical resource, we are truly thankful. We are appreciative, extremely appreciative of all the hard work and dedication that has gone into this project over the last 5 years and going back 50 years as well. We're glad to see that today that dream is finally a reality, and we want to thank everyone here. Thank you, Governor Sununu. Thank you, Chuck Morse. Thank you, Commissioner Scott, Representative Major, the City of Manchester, Derry, Wyndham, Salem, Hampstead Area Water Company, and Pennachuck East. And everyone else that had a hand in making this possible. We are truly grateful and appreciative of all this great project. So thank you very much, and thank you.
And so I'd like to thank all the speakers who joined us today and everybody else. And I think in closing, we can all appreciate that this project, a first in New Hampshire of this kind, and celebrating its success today, that we are showing what can be accomplished when working together to solve a problem. This project has been extremely exciting to be a part of, and I would like to take a moment to thank all of the partners for working so closely with the Department of Environmental Services, and especially with me over these last couple of years. And as I move on, I do want to take a quick opportunity, because there are many of you here who, as we start working on phase 2, will be meeting my replacement, Cheryl Bondi. Where's Cheryl in the audience? I'm going to actually call. Oh, you're right where you're supposed to be. See, she's already got this figured out. Cheryl Bondi is the new Drinking Water and Groundwater Trust Fund Administrator. I have met her now for a couple of weeks, and I can tell you she's extremely hardworking, and I think she'll bring to you the same collaboration and partnership that I bring as well. And so please welcome Cheryl. Thank you. And so now this is the best part of the event. We are going to recognize all of the partners, consultants, contractors, lawyers who helped make this project a success. And we'll be presenting everybody with a plaque here that recognizes the commitment and partnership that led to the success of the Southern New Hampshire Regional Water Interconnection Project. And we'll start with Governor Chris Sununu. You get one. Senator Chuck Morse. DES Commissioner Scott. Manchester Waterworks. Hi, you. The Town of Derry. The Town of Wyndham. Town of Salem. Woo! Town of Plaistow. The Hampstead Area Water Company. Pennachuck East Utility. And the next 3 people for really working to advance the project in Plaistow, the former Plaistow Town Manager, Mark Pearson. Is he here? I think he's here. Representative Norm Major. Former DES Commissioner Bob Varney of Norman Doe Associates. Department of Justice Senior Assistant Attorney General Alan Brooks. From Orrin, Reno, and Concord, New Hampshire, Attorney Susan Geiger. Our engineering consulting partners, Weston and Sampson of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Underwood Engineers of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And our construction contractors, First DeFelice from Dracut, Mass. Posco Lewis Builders out of Atkinson, New Hampshire. Rivoli out of Franklin, Massachusetts. American Excavating, I know I saw you, out of Derry. Northeast Earth Mechanics from Pittsfield, New Hampshire. Anybody? And finally, DN Tanks out of Wakefield, Massachusetts. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.